Hey, what's up, fellas? Maru here, and welcome back to some Danganronpa Lapse. Now, if you remember last time, our best friend died. It hurts, I know. Oh, I was kind of dreading recording this. Well, not dreading, but hoping that things get better for our good friend Echo, because since we had to see Ashley get horribly executed by horseshoes, it's not the best thing to see. But let's just get right into it. I slowly drew open my eyes. My chest felt tight. I inhaled deeply and exhaled heavily, as if to expel my body of all the wound up fear that stirred inside. It didn't help much. My body felt leaden, my heart hollow. Rising from the bed, it shook the remnants of a trying sleep away. Looking at my surroundings, I noticed I had thrown the covers and pillows on the floor. It was strange. I'd fallen asleep. I saw no dreams or nightmares. My subconscious felt suspended in a null zone. The clock read 4:15. I rubbed the exhaustion from my eyes. Feeling numb and listless, I dragged my heavy body out of bed and shuffled toward the door, but I didn't know where to go. It's not true, I moaned to myself. There was one place I could think of. Even I don't know where. You want to go to the next floor? Oh, Lyle. I stepped out of my personal room and saw Lyle down the opposite hall. He just scowled and stomped off. I went on my way. Dang. Things are heavy right now, aren't they? Yeah, I guess I walked through the living quarters, through the foyer, and up the stairs to the second floor. To my sniffling, I saw Sai standing from the spa lounge door, weeping gently. Sai? Are you okay? Oh. Caught off guard, Sai wiped her eyes. As I approached Sai from the staircase, something gleamed in her hands. It looked like a closed pocket watch. Oh, is that the one Pandora gave you? She stared a burning hole in the door, rolling the small object between her fingers. After a moment, she managed to croak out a stiff response. This is how it's supposed to happen, isn't it? What do you mean? We can't do anything. No matter how hard we try, it'll still end like this. I had nowhere to go before I came here, but now what do I do? She was visibly shaken. It was horrible sitting here like this. Sai, console her. Why would there be an option to say nothing here? That's horrible. Oh, let me save though, because jeez, I never had so many slaves. Console her. I couldn't say for certain I knew what exactly she was going through, but I just knew one thing. I understand how you feel. Scared and alone. But if it's any consolation, at least we have each other. The words slip out, but in truth, I wasn't confident of that sentiment in my own heart yet. She rolled the delicate disc in her hands a few times again. I wondered what the item meant to her, if anything. Sai didn't respond. Instead, she just wiped her tears and nodded. Spent some time with Sai in solitude. Oh. Well, that's a bit comforting, isn't it? Passing through the atrium, I spotted Forte gazing at the delicate globe centerpiece. He seemed to be humming to himself, but stopped when I approached. Evening, Echo. Hello. Did I interrupt you? No. It's a melancholic tune. I would really rather not bother you further with it. Oh. It's a bitter, unfortunate situation we find ourselves in, is it not? Despite the heavy words, his face read differently. His shoulders remained relaxed as he looked up past the globe at the dark, cool sky. He seemed calm, somehow. Tell me, Echo, how are you? Are you alright? Am I alright? No. Honestly, no. No, I'm hurt. The killing game, the trials that follow. No, this whole game. It's horrible and I hate it. We're losing people, friends we've just met, and friends we've known. It feels like there's no end in sight. It's perfectly normal to feel devastation as we find ourselves cautiously navigating life or death situations. The game has yet instigated those with the spirits inflicted with distress and grief to ends unmentionable, and trials heartbreaking. Yes, my soul is stirring, but in my experience on the stage, these sorts of feelings never last for long. We move people to tears with our performance about tragedy, the loved and lost. Yet the audience knows the performance will end, and thus they'll move on with their lives. I can't help but wonder, when? How much longer until the curtains close on the story? Forgive me for bending your ear with my thoughts. I'll let you be on your way. No, that's okay. It's comforting to know I'm not alone feeling afraid. Indeed, we are never truly alone. I stand in moment signs as Forte saying his dang. It's like his words of clarity. Did you get beautiful out of nowhere? Alright. Dang, that man got a voice. Is that it? It just cut there abruptly. The music. Okay, that was really beautiful. I made my way through the atrium and up the stairs, arriving on the third floor. I spotted Missy at the marble table in the center of the third floor. She was contemplating something. Missy. Oh, Echo. Excuse me, I didn't notice you. Missy looked unsettled. She might have been put off from what I did earlier. I closed the distance between us. What's that? This is... She moved to reveal a small decorated box. What is that? My revolver and a dagger. The two weapons shone dully in the dim light of the hallway. I discovered the dagger when Cyrus allowed me to explore the room of my associate. Needless to say, I didn't wish to take it with me, but here it is again, as if it were following me. And the gun? Cleaned and posed for reuse. It looks like it was the only thing to emerge from the wreckage of the smoke lounge. Forgive me if this is not a good idea, but you do have the gun. I'm like, shouldn't you maybe like try to shoot the ceiling? Like, and by that I mean like me and Forte were in the atrium, and above the atrium is like glass, just glass. I'm like, is that all bulletproof? Maybe we should try to shoot that down and see if it breaks, and then try to get like a big ladder or something and get up there. I don't know. Just an idea of like, let's figure out something. But I don't know, maybe just me. I see. Dangerous tools needed to continue the game and return to the players. I stared at the weapon in her hands. I wanted more than anything to tear them out of her hands and... Oh, kill her? What? Echo, what? And... I didn't even know what I would do if I had them. I suppose inescapable. As he snapped me out of my thoughts. Where there is love, grief will be following close behind. This seemed to harbor a great concern for wherever this dagger belonged to. Can I ask, who was this person? As he hesitated. Former love. I don't think I need to tell you how important, no, precious she was. So much so that I foolishly endangered everyone. The traces and signs of our friends, they've been placed to provoke us. This dagger is analogous to seeing Silva's helmet. They are items of close regard, and to see them away from their respective owner is distressing. I withheld this information because if everyone realized the truth of these items right away, we would all become distraught and lose our bearings in the midst of saving ourselves. But I just don't know anymore. I thought I knew what I was doing, but nothing makes sense. The more time we spend here, the less I know. Morbid curiosity, desire to delve further and further into a dark well for a pinch of hope, has driven me to no satisfying end. And now I'm making you suffer my consequences. Missy. Another heavy sigh escaped her lips. I've never felt so aimless. Echo. I don't expect forgiveness from you for what I did, simply put. I introduced a weapon to the fray, which eventually caused Ashley's downfall. You're fine. In no way was it her fault. She had a really noble and a really good plan, if I'm being honest, by trying to like show her cards with a gun so that like it built up a trust. So it's not her fault. I forgive you. I understood why she did what she did. Leaving the weapon out was a show of belief that we would do no harm. I understood the theory, but Missy, no need to indulge me. Missy looked at me with earnest eyes. It's easy to connect these two damning things together, to find a reason with tragedy, but it's merely not healthy. The truth of the bigger picture is this. Ashley meant to protect the one she cared about. She wanted to remove a threat from our group, having faith that we remaining students won't do harm to each other after the fact. Despite that, regardless of the risk she took, we're still here participating in this seemingly endless game. Our predicament doesn't appear so black and white, does it? I'm sorry. I can't seem to form my thoughts. Missy's composure was fractured. She was shouldering the insurmountable weight of guilt. I didn't know what to say. I assume you've come up for the same reason as I. I'm sorry for taking so much of your time. I'll leave you be. And thank you for trusting me during the trial. I regret having put you through all that. I nodded almost invisibly as Missy made her exit down the stairs. I realized Missy was right. The situation was too complicated to make strict judgment on what was just or unjust. At the end of the day, everyone was in pain. Why should I perpetuate it by being so callous to them? I sighed. Arriving where my subconscious had urged me, I stood still. I stood in the casino, feeling phantom traces of what happened just hours ago, exasperate my bones. My mind wishfully wandered back to a time before this terrible game, a peaceful time before the despair. It was just the other night. Ashley and I were talking about nothing in particular, but we knew our time together would come to an end. The autumn season was coming to a close. There's a few more months for a new phase of life to rise from the horizon. We were relishing the bright, warm sun of the present before it set into a peerless night. Sitting in comfortable, familiar silence, we enjoyed each other's company. I'm sorry, lad. You deserve better than what happened to Ashley. Have you decided where you want to go? No, not yet. I was thinking about taking a gap year to travel. Traveling sounds like a dream. Seeing different people and expanding our worldview. Yeah, but then I have to worry about my finances if I'm on the road often. Don't fret. There's always other options. Maybe you could travel locally. There could be interesting sights in the next city that you never knew about. It's a good idea. I've never really thought about that since I just walk everywhere in the city. What about you? Any interesting prospects? Well, Papa wants me to help out on the ranch a little more. New season's coming up and we're expecting some competitors to stop by. Oh yeah, the races. You get pretty busy during those weeks, right? It's hectic, but it's fun. And I don't mind helping. In fact, I was still unsure about what I was going to do after school anyway, so this gives me more time to think. And some more time with Hyperion. I'm sure he would miss you if you left. Of course, I would miss him too. We laughed lightly. I don't think you have to worry too much. If anything, you have a future at the ranch with your father. It's a good fallback just in case anything were to happen, right? Yeah, a good fallback. A pondering silence drifted. I think you should travel, though. It'd be wonderful to hear about all your journey. Nothing is really keeping you down, no? Not really, but the idea is a little daunting. Learning new languages to get around, not to mention finding the money to do so. It's a little risky. And we're probably not going to have a lot of many chances to see each other. There's always a million reasons not to do something. Yeah. Besides, if you ever get tired of traveling, I'll always be here. Just don't forget about me, okay? She flashed me that warm, comforting smile of hers. That just hurts. It just hurts. Why? Don't forget. I felt my heart swell. God dang it. Why do you have to do this, Gay? I returned to the first floor after some time. Passing through the foyer, I saw Missy and Forte having dinner in the dining hall. Hello again, Echo. Are you well? Yeah, I think I'll be okay. Missy, I'm sorry if I was unresponsive earlier. I just needed some time to sort out my thoughts. I understand. We're all going through a lot right now. Yeah. Even though we shared a mutual sentiment, our eyes never met during the exchange. Forte broke the silence. Echo, would you like to join us for dinner? It's been a trying day. You want to take a moment to unwind? No thank you. I had so many things on my mind and no appetite to feed the thoughts. Will you be alright? Yeah, I just have a lot to think about. Well, don't push yourself too hard. Don't be a stranger if you do end up wanting to join us. Sure thing, thanks. I left Missy and Forte to enjoy their meal in peace. Oh. Well, it seems like I trust Missy and Forte a lot. Like, generally speaking, I really do trust that they are not gonna try to kill anyone. Just because they seem so calm and collected throughout everything. Like, I trust that they're not gonna break down. I wandered to the middle of the main foyer and paused. Something was bothering me. One concern I had involved someone I hadn't seen all evening. Yeah. I want to apologize to Kanan for how I not ripped up, she ripped it up, but how I spit in her gift. Like, she showed me a gift of everyone being together and I just told her that it was a pathetic gift and she ripped it in half. Let's go apologize. I think since I didn't run into her at the atrium or anywhere along the way, Kanan must have been in her room. I went down the living quarters hall and knocked on the door and greeted with their symbol. Kanan, are you there? I just wanted to apologize. There was no response. Knocked once more for good measure. Silence again. Well, just let you know I'm sorry. It is now 9 p.m. Nighttime will begin at 10 p.m. Facilities will be closed until 7 a.m. the next morning. Even the darkest nights will end and the sun will rise. If she were in her room, she didn't want to be disturbed. There wasn't much I could do. Slide a letter under the door. Or slide under the door yourself. I slowly shuffled off. Oh. Well, she doesn't really look happy, but she was there. I couldn't help but feel guilty for denying Kanan's help, despite her tried sincerity. I wonder if I can get the photo pieces back from Missy. When nighttime had come before I knew it, I'd have to ask Missy about the torn photograph tomorrow. I returned to my personal room and sat on the bedside. I felt sick and shattered. We just passed the first half of this so-called game and lost 4 of 10 students in our group. With 3 more days on the horizon, I feared for what will become of our already sparse community. It will be good. We'll be good. And I feel like we have the only one that scares me that might tweak out is Lyle. But I trust for the most part everyone. Maybe Kanan too. Maybe Sai. Okay, I'm thinking too much. I settled into bed and closed my heavy eyes. My thoughts were entangled in question after haunting question. The words, sights, and memories blurred together, with no answer on the horizon. I let go. Images unwound and spilled into the night. Sleep would eclipse my mind as another night passed. The moon. Beautiful, is it not? Dignity, diligence. All right. Day 5. What a time to be alive. Something ate. Felt my stomach turn over. Hungry. I slipped out of bed and went to the sink, splashing away another fitful night's sleep from my eyes with crisp water. Alert from the chill, I got properly dressed. It was disturbing how quickly I acclimated to the morning routine. 7 a.m. I was awake an entire half hour before the present alarm went off. Grumbling from the habitual awakening, I sulked down my purse in the room to grab a bite from the dining hall. Let's get something. Maybe we can see some people. Actually, I don't know, talk to people. The halls were quiet. Nothing but my soft footsteps upon the carpet kept me company. I crossed the dimly lit foyer and sat myself down at the end of the dining hall table. I laid my eyes directly on the baskets of pastries that still sat in the center of the table. 2 pastries remained, a lemon square and some kind of Danish with jam. I helped myself to the lemon square, a delicate bite of sweet and sour zest filling me with a flavorful vigor. As much as I enjoyed the pastry, I couldn't help but remember the melancholic feeling of Pandora's life being cut short. I finished off the lemon square, leaving the jam Danish in the basket all by its lonesome. It looks good. I placed the snack in a folded napkin and stuck it in my pocket. Maybe I can give it to Kanan. It's not much, but I didn't really know what I was going to do with it. Give it as a peace offering? I don't think she would accept it as a peace offering per se, but it would be a shame to waste it. Tried to recall whether or not Kanan had even tried one of Pandora's pastries. What do you think you're doing? What? My thoughts were interrupted by a sharp exclamation. What? Oh! I rushed out of the dining hall and saw Lyle and Kanan arguing in the connecting hall between the foyer and living quarters. As I was standing beside Lyle, once more watching the scene unfold. Kanan, you're always running away and hiding, aren't you? Shut up. You think I'm going to run headfirst into danger? I'm not going to be an idiot like you and Echo getting myself hurt for no reason. Lyle seized Kanan's camera from her wrist. Well, why? Why are we fighting? Hey, hands off. I've had it with you and your secrets. I'll break this thing for good if you don't tell me what you're hiding. No, don't, please. What's going on? Can we stop fighting? I'm like, my best friend just died. I'm trying to grieve in normal, and you guys are fighting. Sergeant Bean before Forte stepped in from the living quarters. Oh, frick yeah, buff guy. Forte is like way bigger than them. Approaching down the hall behind Lyle, Forte plucks the camera out of his grip with ease. See, yeah, look at you bullying little girls. You're all awfully lively at such an hour. Forte returned the camera to Kanan as Missy approached from the opposite side of the living quarters. Lyle and Kanan stepped a few paces from each other, the space now singularly occupied by their glares. Kanan wraps the strap around her wrist and grips the camera tightly. Good morning, everyone. Yes, good morning to you all. Although I would hardly call shouting and threatening each other as a productive way to start the day. What's the commotion this time? Yeah, morning. I'm not entirely sure. I woke up early, so I went to the dining hall to help myself to breakfast when I heard Lyle and Kanan arguing about something. Why were you up so early anyways, Lyle? I hadn't been able to sleep well, if you really must know. Lyle trailed off, but his gaze was tense. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I'll scoffs. Anyway, I was awake because I was restless, but Kanan here was sneaking around my room looking for dirt, no doubt. That's a damn lie. Is that so? Explain this! Lyle produces a photograph of what looks to be a checker pattern. Why? What is that? What is this? Indeed. Just, what are you showing us? It's a chessboard. I have a chessboard in my personal room, and the only way Kanan would have taken a picture of it if she trespassed and entered my room. You're the worst. You were blatantly walking around with the thing tuckered under your arm in the early hours of the morning. I didn't sneak anywhere, much less your personal room. I just happened to be around the corner when I saw the strange thing. So you admit you were hiding. Just a minute. What's this about a chessboard? And that's none of your business. I brought it out only to discuss it with Sai, no one else. Missy sighed. Don't be absurd. The existence of such a thing has been brought to everyone's attention thanks to your commotion. There's no use in keeping it a secret now, Lyle. Fine. Lyle leaves the group to retrieve the item in question from his personal room. The rest of us gather at the dining hall in anticipation. Show it with the class, Lyle. Don't be afraid. Also, don't be a dick. After a moment, Lyle returns, presenting a lacquered wooden chessboard. Alright, well, you have pieces? Care to elaborate? What seems to be the issue here? It's not strictly a chessboard per se. It doesn't come with pieces to play, and there are markings on the 2 opposite corners. But from those differences alone, I know what its real purpose is. It's the mutilated chessboard problem. If I recall correctly, that's a type of tiling puzzle. No? Yes. The problem is as so. Oh, for... Wait, hold on. Okay, no, we're good. I threw my phone on my bed and hit a bowl. Suppose an 8x8 chessboard has 2 diagonally opposite corners removed, leaving 62 squares. Is it possible to place 31 2x1 dominoes in such a way along the ranks or files that all squares are covered? From the numbers alone, you think it is mathematically possible. After all, 31 is easily half of 62. However, the problem is impossible to complete. By removing the two diagonal opposite corners, we're taking out two either black or white squares. Whichever is removed, we're left with a real estate of 32 of one type of square and 30 of the other. Oh, so that's actually really fascinating. And this is an issue, since the dominoes always cover one black and one white. If the remaining squares are uneven, like that, we'll be left with one domino and two uncovered squares. Alright. At the end of the day, puzzles like this are pointless. They're not problems, they're hoaxes meant to frustrate. In that case, do you believe you're expected to solve it, given you are the ultimate puzzle master? I doubt it. It came with neither instruction or dominoes. Just the board itself with two corners marked was in my room. Even if it were given to me to solve, whoever gave it to me must know that I would see through the problem straight toward the impossible nature of it anyway. There's a lot of this complicated thing in this room as well. Hang on. This moment felt oddly familiar. Hearing someone had a strange thing in their room. I wonder if it was simply a coincidence or... Hey, Forte, can I ask you something? What is it? When I was shocked on the first day, you took me to your personal room to keep an eye on me. I remember you had sheet music. What was it of? Oh, that. The sheets were actually select parts of the libretto for an opera I have some disdain for. Oh? Indeed. The story of a man that despite success makes a deal with dark spirits to get what he truly wants. I don't care much for the moral of it. I see. His choice of words are rather nonplussed. But if his brow furrowed deeply at the mention of the opera, could these things be indicative of something more? In their respective rooms, Lyle had a frustrating puzzle, and Forte had sheet music that turned out to be a story he doesn't quite like. Interesting. I wonder then if the revolver in my room was presented in a similar fashion. To test myself with a precarious game within a game itself. What could that mean? Don't you think it has something to do with your talents as well? Perhaps, but conversely, there's a discrepancy among the items. Ashley's room might have nothing to do with her talent. Yeah, Ashley received her friend Silva's helmet. In a way, it could have been read as a gift at first thought, but given their history, it might have just been a jab at the fight that occurred between them. And I can summarize what sort of room gift Kanan was given. Her camera. I haven't made any effort to hide it. But yes, I have some rather mixed feelings about this. Elaborating any further, Kanan scowls as she stares at the device. Sai, did you also happen to awaken in your room with a strange item? Yeah, I did. Would you mind sharing it with us? I wonder if that's also something talent-related. Sai momentarily withdrew into her own room to retrieve her item. Here. That is very specific. What is that, like a card as well? That's so specific. Produce a yellow skull and bone statuette. What on earth? Is that real? It couldn't be real. The shape is much too stylized to resemble anything realistic. Echo, look, bro, don't say anything that dumb. I guess you're right. Still, such a depiction of a skull, fake or not, sent chills up my spine. This thing is kind of heavy too. When I woke up, it was sitting on the cabinet at the foot of my bed, staring at me. It's like it was telling me something bad would happen. It's horrible. I didn't know what to do with it, so I just hid it in one of my cabinet drawers. Sai's item doesn't seem to have any outward appearance of being related to her talent, however. A skull and bone statuette planted in a game centered around murder. I get the impression that was given deliberately. Yeah, it can't just be a coincidence, huh? So Ashley wasn't the only one that had something out of place in her room when she woke up. It seemed nearly everyone here had something unusual in their own room. Wait, all these strange things have something in common. Items have sentimental value, items are to some degree disturbed, items are associated with friends. There's no sentimental value with the skull. So yeah, all items are to some degree disturbing. I think all these room gifts seems like they're all meant to unsettle you in some way. Interesting. It was quite disturbing to receive a revolver of all things before the events of the killing being revealed to us, no less. Missy, what about the item you had last night? You said it was analogous to Silva's helmet. Correct. It has a painted past. The owner was to kill herself with it for betraying her family's wishes. What a loathsome request. So instead of following her family's blindsided desire, she took the dagger and nothing else as she fled from home. Missy withdrew the dagger from her possessions and turned it over in her hands carefully. She had a forlorn look in her eyes as she stared at it. No way! There's no way I'm letting Missy allow another weapon to fall into the wrong hands. Lau sped in to take the dagger from Missy, but Forte held him back with a firm grip. God dang, Forte is your dad right now. Why are you stopping me? I'm trying to prevent more destruction. Missy weapons are going to do more harm than good. And can you say with confidence that you won't let the weapon fall into the wrong hands as well? Whoever fights monsters should see it that they do not become a monster in the process. Lyle, I think you would do well to follow those words of insight given your reactions to the events. It's not that I don't have any faith in you to solve the workings of our situation, but I don't want to see you turn against us just for the sake of an answer. I'm not turning against you. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this forsaken game we're in. Lyle hurled the chessboard across the room, splintering the wood in several pieces. Lyle, violence is not the answer. You have a sharp mind. Don't let rage and confusion blind your judgment. Then tell me, what's the point of these so-called gifts? Missy, you received a gun of all things, and now you've got your hands on a dagger? Sai has a skull and crossbones statue. What good could that possibly serve? Not to mention all the awful gifts. This game has been rigged from the beginning to incite violence, and violence only. Lyle, please settle down. We're gathered to talk this out. I understand you're frustrated, but discussion is the best tool at our current disposal. If we keep a level head, we're sure to find an answer for the questions at hand. We have so many brilliant minds here. Why not do what we can? Lyle laughed. He crossed his arms and paced to the far corner of the dining hall, allowing whoever else to speak. Well, all I can speculate is perhaps signs of distrust were to be planted among us from the start, since the gifts might have stirred feelings of resentment. If that's the case, what do you think Art's gift was? Maybe it was because that thing he was the first one to act. It could be possible he walked into the mansion with pre-existing bleak feelings that were only exacerbated further by the situation we found ourselves in. One would summarize that as plausible root for his motivation. The room fell silent for a moment. Missy and Forte were deep in thought, while Sai and Kanan were their usual quiet selves. Lila, on the other hand, just allowed the conversation to move at its own pace. Missy continued. It's going to be difficult to reflect on the events past, but I believe it will be necessary to progress. I believe we ought to ask, the killing, what was the root of each occurrence? Arts did it out of protection, didn't he? As I understood it, it was done more out of fear. Ashley was afraid too. He was afraid for Echo's safety. Both of them must have thought getting rid of the potential mastermind behind the situation would have stopped the game completely. I don't think Art thought that. I still to this day don't think that's what he meant. I think you guys took that from his thing. Maybe I agree with misunderstood, but I don't think I did. I think you guys took that and tried to make him like a good guy, but he just killed an innocent woman for no reason. Anyway. However, is there such a possibility of a mastermind existing within our ranks? No one dares comment on such a thing. Regardless, I do not like this. Splintering the unity of the group with hypotheticals won't get us very far. Yeah. Besides, it would be so cruel to want to insert themselves to a game that could put themselves in harm's way. The idea is disturbingly masochistic. I suppose an amount of faith is required amongst us, so we don't shatter what we already limited and delicate trust has been built. We got this far, haven't we? The most plausible mastermind would have been Cyrus, but he was ultimately just a pawn in the overall scheme. So much for his immunity. Another pause. Missy looked over to Lyle, who continued to sulk. Lyle, have you had a moment to collect yourself? We are treating him like a freaking... We're treating this man like a child right now. This grown man over here. We're treating him like a child and while the adults are talking. He lets out an elongated sigh. Sure. Then please, your wit and assistance will be paramount to solving our predicament. I haven't doubted your skill for a second. However, I would ask that you cooperate. This extends a hand in compromise. Lyle hesitates, but eventually shakes in agreement. Make no mistake, I'm so suspicious of everyone here, Missy especially. I don't think I'll forgive you for the hoops we had to go through to figure out what happened to Cyrus. I don't expect you to accept any of my excuses, so long as we are understood to have the same goal to escape our predicament. Whatever. Let's just get on with figuring out this damn killing game. If we think about it, the working goal we're supposedly meant to be committing such horrendous acts for is to earn something called the ultimate prize. This prize is meant to be received at the end of 12 days of captivity. In that case, can we just wait until the 7th day? That's what I said at the very beginning of the game. Let's just wait it out. What are they gonna do? Kill us all? Was pursuing the so-called prize even on anyone's mind this whole time? Consider this. What could possibly be so desirable, yet completely unspecified, that we are provoked to fight to the death? We ought to solely focus on pursuing escape, and resisting any pressure to act on killing. That's the only answer I can foresee. But as we've seen, Zero has deployed a number of things throughout the day to apply stress. Regarding the forced motive question, just the act of choosing whether or not to discuss it already has its suspicious implications, doesn't it? And it didn't happen in Cyrus's case, as the killing occurred early in the afternoon. But if we didn't do anything like we did on the second day, something would have been employed later in the day to ensure we would act. Case in point, the disturbing music. Then indeed, waiting out wasn't going to be an option to begin with. I don't know. I think we could still wait it out. If he just keeps like, because what is he gonna do? He's gonna keep adding motivations and stuff like that. Well, yeah, I would say that, but like he did use super overbearing music that, like, you know, made us go crazy. It didn't make us go crazy, but if that kept playing, it probably would have made something happen. And that was like the second or third day. Going on the seventh day, he might just do like, I'm firing turrets everywhere and they won't stop until someone kills someone. So maybe it's a good point. As far as we could tell, nothing made any sense. I see furrowed her brow. It's difficult to make concrete statements about our situation. The variety of strange things happening don't seem to have any rhyme or reason. So, what can we even do? Why is there a bell going off? Where anyone can respond to ringing filled halls. So, day 5, another wondrous day within the walls. Today's forced motive question is, do you believe in strength in numbers? That's a real head scratcher, huh? Not really. It seems pretty obvious, right? As we have any lone wolves out there. The announcement ended as quickly as a game. That one's kind of vague. It's not vague, it's nothing. Why wouldn't there be strength in numbers? Kanan broke her silence with a snide remark. It was strange coming from her, considering how much she avoided us. Yeah, it is kind of strange coming from you. But she has a point. Yeah, obviously there's strength in numbers. I'm inclined to agree that the answer seems pretty straightforward. I concur. Especially since we are finding ourselves in the very scenario where it's beneficial that we all be present to discuss the game. Okay, so we all agree that was completely pointless? Back to what we were talking about. What do we... We all just brushed that right off. The only one that didn't say anything, though, something to note, Sai didn't say anything. Like, come on, Sai, join the conversation with us. Back to what we were talking about. What do we think the purpose of the ultimate prize and the preservation project are as a whole? Missy, you said you wanted to involve yourself with this group. Did you make heads of tails of this? I've been trying to make sense of it since we arrived. All I can say is perhaps we found ourselves in an elaborate trap. Heard Lyle muttered, "That's obvious," under his breath. Missy ignored him. Echo, I believe you may be able to recall what I said when you asked about Ultimate Students for the first time. Yeah. It was interesting what you said. What those individual groups or institutions do with the students is beyond me. I've not heard many stories of success or failure from anyone who's had the luxury of being accepted. Anyway, don't take too much stock in the title is all I'm saying. What do those institutions do with students? I mean, of course your talents would be highly coveted, but wouldn't the world be seeing constant new developments in, like, biological discoveries and technology? Excellent observation. Why haven't we seen those developments indeed? It's clear that as Ultimate Students, we're at the crux of this game's existence. How do you mean? Who or what singularly determined the fact that we had ultimate talents? The Preservation Project. And Echo, you didn't seem to have any knowledge of ultimate talents, students, or the Preservation Project at all prior to your experience thus so far. That's true. So I ask, how did you become a participant here? You all had willingly signed up to be brought here. I'm curious whether Echo's presence is a discrepancy we can bet upon. It seems bearingly peculiar given the circumstance. That much is clear. In that case, I believe we've been uniquely blessed with the peculiarity of Echo's presence that could shed light on our situation. Missy's thought hard. I need more information. I have an idea on where to potentially fetch the knowledge I seek. Sai? You know what? The reason for all this is why it's so hard to figure out. It's all meant to be beyond our comprehension and abilities, isn't it? Why not just go along with the game instead of fighting it? Okay. Let's put her tied up in the basement. Let's get that going now. What are you saying? Suddenly a rumbling shook the dining hall. It's not like it was coming from the foyer. She just popped a domain. We darted out of the dining hall to investigate. Oh! No way. The previously impenetrable main foyer door is open. We're on day 5 and there's still 5 of you. That's impossible. Voice crackled. Test your strength. Explore beyond the doors as a group. Split up and do nothing, I don't care. Your strength in numbers. And you remain a group in spirit as you wander through the mysterious halls. Yes, the doors once thought of as your only way out have been thrown ajar. They've never really been an exit. You all just assume so. How silly is that? And, oh, what's this? Ding. Facing opposite of the foyer doors, the elevator indicator lit up, showing a new floor available to us, the courtroom. I'll even let you take a little detour to the courtroom. Finding the secrets of this wretched place if you can bear to face them. Yes, the game will go on regardless how hard you resist. Everyone was astonished. We were all fixated on the gaping dark hole that lay beyond the previously dangerous door. Zero was challenging us to uncover the secrets of our captivity, so be it. I'll be infiltrating Cyrus's room. We had knowledge of mine and Ashley's connections. It's likely he has access to much more information. What? But the door that mysteriously kept us. Oh my god, come on, guys, let's not split up here. We just said we believe in shit the numbers. Let's just go one at a time. These things aren't a timed event. But the door that mysteriously kept us in is open up. There could be information further in the building too. Lyle pulled out the mysterious note he's been holding on since discovering it on the second day. This note has to mean something. It's clear that Zero represents one of the symbols and has shown himself in the courtroom. So the same has to be said about Eve's symbol. Whoever's operating the announcements, Eve or Zero, have to be somewhere beyond the doors. It'd be too obvious for Zero to be hiding in the courtroom. What if it's simply an artificial intelligence beyond the two personalities? Then what? Searching for something intangible and scripted to run the game won't relieve the overall secrets beyond the walls. Cyrus knew about the project as a whole. That kind of information can't be denied at a time like this. Lyle, Missy, please. Arguing isn't going to solve anything. Agreed. I hate to suggest it, but perhaps this opportunity is the force motive question presenting itself in a testable way. That's what I was thinking. If we recall on day 3, the additional motive of distressing music was implemented at 4 p.m. We can split up and investigate until 4 p.m., where we can rendezvous and exchange information, all the while bracing ourselves for whatever Zero has in store for us. In that case, I'll venture into the unknown. If anything goes wrong here, you can bet I'll be the one to solve the puzzle the truth together in the aftermath. I'll stand squarely before the dim hall of the open doorway. I suppose it's our best option. It's not the wisest thing to do given our already small group, but it will give us an edge in discovering the secrets of our whereabouts. As he nods, she makes her decision to remain with the main wing. And there are 6 of us, therefore we ought to divide into groups of 3 so we can all keep an eye on each other in our respective areas. Breaking off to 3 pairs is out of the question. Kanan, you're coming with me. Makes you think I want to go with you. As much as I'd miss your awful company if you didn't come, you won't let go of your camera. I don't think it'd be a touch useful going down, okay? Kanan rolled her eyes but didn't inject further. I'll join Missy. Worry not, I shall not let anything go wrong. Besides, I trust Kanan to keep an eye on things for me. Sure you do. We decided on splitting between investigating beyond the foyer doors and remaining in the main wing. With only myself and Sai remaining, I looked to her to see what group she would go with. Sai remained still. I guess she was waiting for me to make my choice first. You just choose the opposite? I wonder what everyone else was expecting. Why do I get... What? Did I just get to talk to everyone? I expected that they were going to make me choose which group. Sai? Sai, did you have any preference? No, I'll go with whoever. I don't care. You pick. Okay. Whatever group I decide to go with, Sai will likely join the other. I'm definitely more inclined of letting her go with Lyle. Because Lyle even said that he has this checkerboard and he wants to go to Sai so they could talk about it. It was only for her. So I feel like they kind of have like a connection where they at least trust each other. So I know Lyle could keep an eye on Sai better. So I'll choose going with Missy and Forte. Plus I just like Missy and Forte more. I love them. Are you having trouble deciding? A little. I'm mostly worried that something bad might happen. It's perfectly normal to feel fear. It means you're still human. Your senses haven't acclimated to the awful environment. Echo, hurry it up, will you? I know. I need some time to think. The worst action is inaction. We have to dig up this miserable place's secrets. If the last patient wasn't already paper thin, I just applied hydraulic press atop it with my indecision. I brushed Kanan, wishing to apologize for what happened yesterday. I didn't quite know what to say. No one didn't lift her eyes to meet mine as I tried to organize my thoughts. Echo, hustle! Please, Echo, time is of the essence. Kanan intended to stay silent. What do you think you'll find? Who can say? I certainly don't know what to expect, but I'll do my best to assist Missy in her endeavors. Oh, I see. I'm not sure what I can offer to the investigation. Half of a memorable experience in the overall scheme? Don't fret if you can't lend a hand. Keep in mind simply the impact we have on other people. We're important to each other. Come on, you all. I'm being very generous right now. You don't want your opportunity to go to waste, do you? Time's a wasting. Zero's taunting voice rung through the halls once more, his laugh crackling through the speakers. This feels like an important choice. I have to think carefully. Jeez. Why are you making this so important? I don't like how important you're making this for me. But again, I'm very inclined to go with Missy and Forte for the main reason that Sai said something like that, and I feel like she trusts Lyle. Like Lyle is a trusted. Oh God, but do I want Sai to go with Kanan? This is actually the game has me worried because you're gonna tell me before the decision. This is very important. Me and Lyle have beef right now. Like he's not. Well, he's mostly okay with me, but he's still a bit angry at me. I feel like Sai's better with him, but let me tell you how my mind works. I also feel like if Sai were to go along with Missy and Forte, that if she thought something crazy, they could calm her down. But I also think Lyle could. Okay. I'm going Missy and Forte. Yeah. Plus, I feel like searching I want to search the rooms anyway. I feel like searching Cyrus's room could give us a lot more information than going to the unknown. I'll go with Missy and Forte. It was decided. I joined Missy and Forte on the opposite side of the center glass table. So I joined Lyle and Kanan near the foyer doors. And that's that. We'll investigate to our fullest abilities and rendezvous here before 4 p.m. That's alright with you, Lyle? Yes, ma'am. Lyle had already begun walking past the doors before she asked. Kanan silently matched his pace and Sai's skirts catch up. As the three faded out of sight, I immediately began to feel uneasy. Is this okay? Splitting up? Come now, Echo. A choice has been made. The general consensus was that we were to sorry, my microphone was in the way. Was that we were to split up evenly if we wanted to comb the building in a timely manner. Yeah, sorry. I'm just a little worried. You can shake the remnant hostility between Lyle and Kanan's argument this morning. Yeah, that's what I was also saying, like was that a good choice? Because I would prefer my most preferred preference would be Kanan going with Missy, Forte, and her. And then I go with Lyle, Sai, and me. Like that's my most preferred thing because I feel like it's less chance of a fight. There was a crackle of static before Zero started speaking again. So you all decided to split up, huh? That's alright, no sweat off my back, figuratively speaking, obviously. Thanks to your fancy bracelets, I can still locate where you are. There's no escaping for you quite yet. Anyway, I have a very special big motive for you all later. But for now, how about some fun little gifts? Not for everyone, mind you. These will be for Kanan and Missy, respectively, at the nearest kiosk. Grab it if you want, or leave it for someone else to stumble upon. I don't care. At this point, whatever you do is meaningless anyway. Huh? I wasn't sure if this was just me, but it felt like Zero's energy was different. I'll check back in with you folks later. Enjoy your investigation. The announcement ended. Missy went over to the foyer kiosk as directed. Similar to a victim report, the kiosk printed a small sheet, blank face up. What is it? Don't feel any pressure to share if it's unpleasant. It's like I really wanted to go with this group because they're such strong foundations right here of the group. These are like these are the pillars of the group right now that's keeping everyone alive. I really want to go with them because I feel more safe with them. But I hope I didn't mess up that other group. To be frank, I'm only expecting unpleasant. Missy tore the small sheet from the print feed and flipped it around. As if being beholden to her vexing gift wasn't enough, I have this to remind me of the game's treachery. What is that? Is that your friend? She showed us the front face of the sheet, a photograph of Darling drenched in blood. A mocking picture. Who is? Wait, what? Did I read that right? Hold up. Is there a? Oh, hey, can I go to history log? These are my. Who is Darling? Y'all said that like y'all know. A mocking picture of her death. Missy spat the words as Forte and I took a quick look before turning our gaze away from the horrific sight. It's truly despicable. We stared at a little long for a stolen picture with her inner coat pocket. We really must get to the bottom of this treachery. I'm revolted by how condescendingly this game treats lives. As he turned down the living quarters towards Cyrus's room. Who is Darling? Well, did I know someone named Darling? Arts, Pandora, Cyrus, and Ash are the ones that have died. Who is Darling? It didn't occur to me until we were... Is Pandora Darling? It didn't occur to me until we arrived. No, Pandora didn't have a scar. Okay, stop. It didn't occur to me that until we arrived at this door that we don't have a way into... I thought you guys had a plan. What do you mean? Isn't the door locked? Desperate times call for desperate measures, don't you think? Missy withdrew Darling's dagger and swiftly struck the door. Oh, Darling's your woman. I never knew her name, and I don't know. I never heard. Did I read her name and didn't notice that? I'm sorry, audience. I guess I did. She cut the doorknob off. Nice going, Missy. I don't exactly have Cyrus' ID bracelet now, do I? I guess not. Missy inspected the bore hole previously occupied by a doorknob and searched the dagger, pulling the latch away from the jamb until the door clicked open. And there we are. Do you think this would be against the rules? It wasn't explicitly stated. However, if it were, I'll deal with the fallout in the courtroom. Dang, I respect Missy. Missy was persistent. She opened the door and marched straight in. Terribly sorry for the intrusion. But they stepped in and I trailed along behind them. These guys are so cool. Oh, this is a nice beat. Alright, let's get to it. Cyrus' room had a little defining feature in it, similar to mine, Orte's and Ashley's in design. The only thing setting it apart was the set of Manila file folders on a bedside table. It was only a hunch, but it seems I was right in presuming Cyrus had information about us. Missy found him of the folders across the bed and began her search. Here, grab a folder and see if you can find anything interesting about our situation. Orte helped himself to a folder and glanced at the first few pages for seating himself in a spar chair. Are we looking for anything specific? Anything at all, honestly. The more we know, the better. Picked up a folder at the bottom of the pile, sat cross-legged on the floor, and opened the file. Confidential information. Alright, let's get to it. There's gotta be something interesting. Found 4 floor plans for the building. There were some general blueprint diagrams. Nothing I could really make sense of, not that they looked much different than the maps displayed on the kiosk. The only thing to note was a sheet. Wait, what? The only thing to note was a sheet was stained with blood in the corner. Among the blueprints was a small booklet. The title read Floor Plans, Game L. On the inside, page 5 floors were listed in the index. Wait, 5 floors? From the top we have... Superstructure, trial ground, infirmary. Living quarters, casino, smoke lounge, garage, art gallery. Spa lounge, climbing center, jazz club. Living quarters, dining hall, study, theater, trophy room, blank. The last floor listed had 2 sections. One was the trophy room and the other was redacted. So Lyle and Kanan are probably visiting the trophy room on the floor below us. I started through the booklet and found basic information we are already known. All floors have kiosks to communicate. Bracelets are used for identification. Active hours are from... nothing new yet. Flipped to the back looking for details about the 5th floor. Blood on it. However, when I arrived toward the final pages, I noticed they were torn out. Whatever remained of the page stuck out from the binding in a messy tear. I grumbled. Of course, the details of the floor beneath us are conveniently gone. Stared at the back panel and noticed something odd. There seemed to be an imprint of writing pressed to the back panel. It was barely visible, but in the right light I could just make it out. 251110. Maybe Cyrus himself wrote the numbers on the last page with a certain amount of pressure, resulting in an almost invisible imprint. These numbers might have been important, seeing as the pages before it were torn out. Or they could have been a mistake, and that's why the pages were removed. Have you two anything pertinent to share? I snapped out of my concentration. Oh, yeah. I found floor plans that showed a floor below ours. From the looks of it, Lyle and Kanan and Sai went down to the trophy room. The trophy room? That doesn't sound too promising. Well, there seems to be another room, but it was crossed out, so I can't figure out what else is down there. Also, take a look at this. There are some numbers just barely visible here. Show Missy the impression of numbers on the back panel. What do you suppose these 6 digits could mean? A code, perhaps? but I don't recall encountering any sort of code-locked door in our immediate faculty facility. And it's likely the code is meant to be used in the area where the three of them went. Alright, that said, let's finish our investigation before we can visit them. When we rejoin them, we'll see what discoveries they have to report and whether or not the code will be of use after all. That's fair, yeah, that makes sense. I nodded and made a point to memorize the numbers for setting the booklet aside. Forte, did you find anything of note? I came across our class dossier, namely student profiles about each of us. Student profiles? Did you find anything about me? I was still wondering why exactly I was involved in this game, since I didn't explicitly have a given ultimate talent. I've exhausted the files on hand, and I didn't see your name anywhere. Oh, I see. I'm terribly sorry. I understand it's been bothersome to be here as an unexplained outlier. It's not your fault, Forte. I guess it's coincidence. Although I did come across something useful. These student profiles have an immense amount of background details. Important figures, significant others, fears, other miscellaneously. But other than Cyrus, no one present has any background involvement with the game. So all of us present are just victims of coincidence? It seems statistically improbable given our rare talent expertise. Yes and no. How shall I explain it? To start, as we are aware, the minimum requirement to come here was to be an ultimate student that received a letter of recognition from the Preservation Project. Should they have accepted the offer for protection, there's a period of time between sending the letter back and I suppose being whisked away to the secret location. It seems in that period of time, there's a sort of method to creating the class. Classes were to be composed of pairs of ultimate students. These pairs of ultimate students would have to be two people who were significantly involved in one way or another. For example, of the folks we did see from day one, Art and Lyle were apparently considered to be close enough for pairing off, though it appears this roster would have included a few other students that would have formed pairs, but aren't present. One can only assume Cyrus himself crossed out the students that are absent. However, there are two students that aren't crossed out, which may require further inspection, and, well, it'd be best if you saw for yourselves. Forte revealed a roster with student names and talents. Let me see. Oh! Hairdresser? That says hairdresser. Oh, hold on. Oh, no. This is more important. Oh! Whoa. Pandora had a twin sister? This is weird. Whoa. There are 15 profiles on the roster. One next to Cyrus is clipped out and 5 are crossed out with dark ink. The total of students visible to us to 11. However, I wasn't on the roster, so I should have brought the number down to 9 since I was excluded. That's so weird. Peculiar. As you noted, there are 2 extra students we still have yet to encounter. Yes. They are listed as being in association with Sai and Pandora from the looks of it. Oh, frick, I should have seen the other one. I did not see the other one. I was just looking. I was so shocked that Pandora had like a twin sister. Does that mean they're also Ultimate students? That is indeed the case. They're listed as Ultimate Radio Host and Ultimate Cartographer. Ultimate Radios, that was just 0. That was just obviously 0. I didn't pay attention to that, but I was like, why is 0? Huh. That's really weird. What did it say 0's name was? Can I go back to that or no? I wasn't paying attention enough. I was shocked. Dang it. I wish I could see that again. Oh, thank you. I very much appreciate that. Akihiko Quartz and Gai Asperi, respectively. I cannot say those names right. Jai Asperi? Let's have a closer look at these 2 students. Missy hastily moved aside the folders strewn across the bed and placed the student profiles for Ahiko Quartz and Gai Asperi. And like that's obviously someone related to Pandora. But like that's 0. His clothing and hair were different colors, but his actual features were the same. And Guy Asper looked awfully similar to Pandora. Even more damning were their school symbols depicted along with their profile pictures. Did Pandora woke up with that note? Was her sister supposed to have the other note? Because she woke up with that note saying like, if you find another person with this, you are protected, or like, you are safe. Weird. Is this 0 and Eve then? Well, one thing is for certain. It's clear to us now that Zero's true identity is Akihiko Quartz. and we can all conclusively put a face to the second mysterious announcer named Eve. It seems Pandora must have known more than she was letting on, seeing as the true identity of Eve appears to be her very own sibling. That said, seeing as the student associations have been revealed, it only means Sai knowing Akihiko has some sort of further involvement with this game. That's really fascinating. There's no doubt. Sai must be the mole we are seeking, and I don't know how I feel with her going to those places with them now. But I'd rather us figure this out together rather than Sai being here with you guys. I'd much rather that. And another thing is interesting. I mean, obviously they don't look very much alike with their features, but they do have the same piercings. You know, I mean, she has piercings right here on her ears, and he has them on his eyebrows. So that's something. I don't know. Could be some type of gang they're in. Not like that, but could be something that they had affiliation before that's pretty heavy then. That's weird, though. That's really weird. My head was spinning. Were we being fooled from the start? Do people on the inside were connected to the two entities administering this game? Shouldn't we confront Sai now that we know she might be up to something? Doing so could prove dangerous. I'd like to watch her movements to see what she's thinking. As far as she's aware, what she doesn't know we're onto her. It's difficult to determine what is going on in her mind. She speaks so little. I don't know. Should we really let her keep going around? Like she just said, why don't we just go along with the game this morning? Like, I feel like that's cause for concern. Let me drink some water. I do feel like that's pretty heavy, like, cause for concern. And now that we know she's a mole, I think we should like restrain her, get her locked up somewhere. Then I think we should check out Pandora's room. She might have something hidden in there since she's a part of this. Excellent idea. I'd still like to look over the rest of my files if you don't mind. I'll go with you, Echo. I'm curious to know what Art's notable gift was, if you would like to make a detour. And Arden approached the exit. Oh, just a minute. Yeah, she was going to have to give us there. I mean, this could prove very ill intent, because, Sai is obviously going to see that we knocked off her freaking doorknob. Missy gave the dagger to Forte. You can use the dagger to knock the doorknob off like I did earlier. On second thought, I don't know if I want to leave you alone like this. I'll be fine. I still have the gun on my person. I don't want to resort to firing it, but seeing as our situation is becoming more contentious, it may not be my choice. But a shiver go up my spine. Missy was taking the situation much more seriously with a chillingly unfeeling demeanor. Understood. We'll make haste in our investigation and return promptly. I like doing Forte's voice the most because he has like a very powerful opera singer voice. I try to go upon that of a man that speaks very eloquently but strong. Forte and I stepped out of Cyrus's room and walked to the opposite halls to Art's room. There, Forte struck the doorknob, pulled the latch, and opened the door. Yes, golf stuff. The only thing in Art's room was a worn-looking golf bag. The other bag was embroidered with the Campapiano name. Oh, this must have belonged to his grandfather. Art must have been reminded of his pastime golfing with him. It must have been distressing to see this upon waking, to say the least. Forte let out a heavy sigh. It's unfortunate, but it explains his reaction to Pandora's question. Now, knowing she might have been involved, do you think she goaded him on? That would be quite masochistic, wouldn't it? And to what benefit? After all, she fell by his hand. That's true. Forte paused. Do you believe the flap of a butterfly's wings could cause a hurricane? A little thing like a butterfly creating a disaster sounds improbable. It's a butterfly effect, Echo. It's a theory. Minute occurrences within similar initial starting conditions can lead to drastically different outcomes. The situation could very well be one of those drastic outcomes. Are you speculating Pandora set this entire scenario off by purposefully inciting the first murder? Who can say that was her intention? Besides, her interactions were never of ill will, were they? She was kind to everyone. So who's to say perhaps the flap of this butterfly's wings caused a storm that would eventually give way to the shining rainbow that will grace our skies? That's a pretty optimistic outlook. Looking forward to the eventual repose from this nightmare is all we have, is it not? Eventual repose. I can only hope something like that would free us from the trappings of the storm. Though, why should we wait for something minuscule and out of control like the winds did to dictate our fate? I'm keen on taking such matters in my own hands, if need be. I'm not sure I would know where to begin with such an endeavor. Well, that's neither here nor there at the moment. Shall we move on to Pandora's room? Yeah, let's check it out. This man Forte, I feel safe. I feel safe. I really do feel safe. If he dies, we're all dead. No, we still got Missy. I feel like these are just the strongest figures. We left Art's room and visited inside the living quarters and on the other side of the foyer. Entering Pandora's room in the same fashion once again, Forte and I came upon yet another nondescript personal room. Only this time, there was nothing to be found in her room. Did Pandora not receive some kind of gift? Perhaps because she was involved, there was no need. But Sai has one, a creepy one at that. Yes, an ominous skull and bone statuette. The two of us peeked into the dresser and were greeted with nothing but stationery and other miscellaneous. Wait, what if she was doing what Kanan did? Kanan said she received that Insta camera, right? She's been clinging to it basically since the beginning of this whole predicament. That certainly wouldn't be out of the question. Do you recall anything Pandora might have had that would be grounds for suspicion? Yeah, that secret note, that's what I was gonna say. She showed it to me just before nighttime on day 2. At first I thought something was fishy, that maybe she was hiding something, but I pressed my fingers to my temple. I don't know. Pandora ended up suffering and the note fell into Lyle's hands. Maybe the secret note was her vexing gift. But if she were some kind of double agent, why would she nonchalantly share the note with me? Who can say? The more we know, the better. I couldn't help but think the opposite. As we dug up more information, the more confused I became. I could only hope whatever Lyle, Kanan, and Sai found would answer the many questions, but at the same time, I was afraid to uncover more of these secrets. Let us return to Missy with our findings. Okay. Well, we didn't find much, but we maybe have some more information. Return to Cyrus' room once more. Forte and I found Missy in deep concentration. Okay, as long as she's okay. I just did not want her to be dead. Welcome back. Did you two find anything interesting? Art had his late grandfather's golf clubs in his room, and Pandora had nothing. Nothing? Echo speculates that perhaps the secret note mentioned in the first trial may be Pandora's room gift, in the same fashion as Kanan's instant camera. The room was empty. She probably kept the note in her person for safekeeping, or something. But when she left it in the pantry on the 3rd day, La's been holding on to it since. Let's take a closer look at it when we rendezvous with Lyle. Missy returned her intense glare probably to the mess of the documents. Anything new here? A disturbing amount of news, yes. Take a seat. Oh, okay. Forte and I sat in the spare chairs and gave Missy our full attention. She sat in momentarily silence, a fierce gaze transfixed on the folders. I've been reading on a history of the involvement of Ultimate students in killing games just like this one. Oh, so it is like I thought. Maybe Cyrus was in a killing game before this and he won and he got sent to this one. Killing games, plural, as in multiple? Look at the old students over there. Oh, that's us. Yes, I know, it's startling to say the least. In that case, that reminds me. In the folder I looked at, our game was labeled Game L. What do you think L means in terms of these multiple games? Hopefully it doesn't mean alphabet. I believe in that context, L is the Roman numeral for 50. So our game is the 50th game? That's so much worse. That's so much worse. 50 games? Oh, a definite number to help enumerate how long this has been occurring. Let's see. If 49 games have taken place over a span of approximately 7 days at most with no break between each game, that's 343 days, almost a year's worth of this hell. I don't understand. I believe that tracks. I remember hearing about this project sometime late in my junior year. Why so many games, you may ask? These games were implemented with Ultimate students in mind. Ultimate students would be prime subjects for rigorous tests and scenarios involving battling to the best of their ability. To overcome other Ultimate students and come out on top, to be the best of the best. These experiments were used to determine who would carry out the future. The preservation project in this killing game, they're one and the same. It seems we aren't just a 1 in a million occurrence. But why? My voice cracked. So this place, it's just some kind of petri dish for creating an Ultimate student that has no moral regard for what they're doing? preservation project has washed our hands of the concerns with morality. It's clear in the documented history. What if it's fabricated? All thanks only to stoke fear. It's very possible. Fear is a powerful tactic. Cyrus himself, after knowing all this, had very little room to operate. He was under a considerable amount of pressure, and eventually collapsed. I was shaking. Comprehension of the situation was elastic on my mind. Fear chilled me to the bone. Missy, aren't you afraid at all? I'm mortified. However, knowing the darkness that lurks behind malicious people's intentions is nothing new to me. Calling the individual person simply a constituent to strip humanity in the amassing voting numbers. It's nothing but numbers. We play with live ammo. A game toying with the livelihood of wildly talented students, enabling a maddening battle royale to create a singular, albeit misdirected, towering ultimate student. Missy exhaled sharply. This must end now. Missy stormed out of the room. Missy! Forte and I chased after her. Okay, where's this going? Missy stood arms crossed at the elevator. She was embroiled in thought, her brow knit, her posture imposing. Are you in full possession of your faculties? You aren't one to charge forward like this. I hate to say that I have only a hunch. I've little to rely on but gut feeling lately, and have nothing but instinct to justify upon acting upon them. I have nothing except... Whoa! She held up the photograph and pinned it to the wall with a dagger. Alright, well, that's like a cool match. Nothing but a vengeance for bringing this establishment to the ground into a burning hell for all the suffering it's put us through. I was so misguided, so blindsided for thinking I wanted to be a part of this preservation project. I've been played for a fool. Okay, yeah. Oh, nice, it's actually there. Missy, none of us could have known this would be our fate. It's possible that these two conspirators must have known something from the start. Rather than confront the one remaining, we must attack the source. Elevator chimed, Miss stepped in. We're going to the courtroom. Okay, I'm down. Only the monotonous elevator hum filled our ears. We traveled to the courtroom floor. We entered the dark circular room once more, this time without explicit orders to determine the culprit. It was quiet. The windows were pitch black. Zero was nowhere to be found. Missy swept in, looking for any indication of the announcer's holographic representation. Forte and I filtered into the empty room aimlessly. I can't see a thing through these windows. It should be early afternoon about now, shouldn't it? Perhaps there are shutters covering the windows. If I recall correctly, it closed after a trial. Forte ran his hand across the wall, feeling the creases that line the foundation, seams running in miscellaneous ranks and files. Forte tried prying one of the sides open to no avail. He knocked on the wall, resulting in an echo bouncing beyond the barrier. There's empty space beyond this wall. It probably only opens when a student is being executed. You think Zero's operator is hiding where executions take place? I gulped. It was not a sight I wanted to think about. I guess it would have been too easy to visit the courtroom after Zero encouraged us to investigate this area. We stepped out from the elevator again. The infirmary has nothing of note either. Missy circled the courtroom stands once before settling at her indicated place. She leaned back and crossed her arms. A tense expression painted her face. Even if we found Zero, how are we going... Even if we found Zero, how are you going to get any information out of him? You must have known how we broke into Cyrus's room, so we might be even more cautious. If I can get him to start talking, we're over halfway there. It's about running a conversation long enough to allow us an opening, rather be a contradiction or unknown fact. The more he talks, the faster his options will diminish. And that said, we've entered the most damning areas with little to show for. I feel as though we've hit a dead end. It's possible Lyle, Kanan, and Sai have had better luck on finding information in their search. We can only hope they turn up with something of note. I love you guys, by the way. I just want to, let it be known. Really appreciate you guys. I think we're a really good team, and I'm very glad to be working with you guys and no one else. The three of us stepped in a long, contemplative silence. I sighed, thinking about meeting up with the others, wondering if they were just as luckless as we were in finding anything of use. I thought about Kanan and remembered. Missy? Do you still happen to have Kanan's photo? The one from last night? I know I said I didn't want it, but... Oh, certainly. I didn't have time to patch it together, though. Missy drew the two halves of the group photo from her inner coat pocket. I lined the two halves together and gazed at a moment in time that was quickly dashed. That's okay. I awkwardly stole soft looks from Forte and Missy. They seemed to understand that I felt remorseful for what I had done. All. I want to return it. Frick. Everyone just locked in. Oh, frick! Who died? A body has been discovered in the trophy room. No. Oh dear. Quickly. Rush back to the. No, please, 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 please. I don't want anyone in that group to die. Just please don't let it be Kanan. Please. Oh god, I really don't let Kanan. My final thing being me ripping up a photo. Rush back to the elevator. Heard the clicking the button for the foyer. The foyer floor light chimed. The door slid open after what felt like an eternity. We were greeted with a bloody sight. Who is that? No, it's Kanan! Oh god, why didn't I go on the team with you? You were so much safer. Oh, you poor girl. Frick! I shouldn't have let her go with Sai and lie. I should have been there with her. I should have been there with her. A hatchet was buried deep in the back of Kanan's lifeless body. Blood stained the polished floors. The fresh liquid reflected upon the glossy surface, creating a haunting glow in the middle of the foyer. Kanan. Dang it. Missy and Forte bolted out of the lift while I remained frozen in the elevator cab. A sickening metallic odor filled my senses, and I felt a cold sweat form on my brow. Missy and Forte were huddled in concern over Kanan's body. It was clearly no use. She was gone. But the body discovery announcement, it said it was in the trophy room. That mean the announcement rung for her? Lyle? Was Sai really behind all? No way she killed both of them. Above Missy and Forte's clamor, I heard a strange sound. Dread possessed me. Missy! Forte! Fortunately, it came crashing down on Missy and... What the frick? They were completely crushed by the chandelier, their bodies lost in the tons of shards of glass. I could hardly muster a sound. I was shell-shocked. Glass and blood littered the floor before me, and the glistening liquid reflected on the marble floor doubled the terror of my mortified visage. The nightmarish sight brought me to tumbling to my knees, dread oozing through every part of my body. My breath was falling out in pieces. My vision became blurry and red from panic. The elevator doors came to an automatic close to hide the sight. The sight of 3 friends being brutally killed. Ooh! Oh, frick. A hand stopped the doors. A freaking arrow! A sharp impact cauterized my bones. Cracks through the cracks creaked through my system, blazing pain. Something was sticking out of my shoulder. It looked like a bolt. The heat from the pain, the chill from the terror. I felt heavy and weak. I couldn't lift my eyes to see what attacked me. My whole body crumbled without a fight. My head knocked into the floor, causing me to see stars and... Holy frick. That I just get a bad ending where everyone dies by Sai? Nothing. I did it, right? That voice. I followed the rules of this stupid killing game, so please, please get me out of here. Ultimate prize is freedom, right? It's Sai. Aki, please. I know it's your voice, so listen to mine and help me. The ultimate prize. Yo's voice. You don't want the prize. Yo's voice is weird again. No, killing isn't the answer. What? After Sai's remorseless cry, one could hear a pin drop. I could feel my heart struggling as my adrenaline rose. Killing isn't the answer? Then what were we doing here? This is wrong. It's all wrong. Oh my god, I just got the worst ending possible in making that choice. Holy frick. What? What was that? Come on, you all. I'm being very generous right now. You don't want your opportunity to go to waste, do you? Time's a wasting. Those other words ran through the halls once more. Oh, wow. Well, that's a good time to end it. I felt this. Okay, wait. I think, hold on. I might have made the right choice there. And I say that. If you ever heard a game called Nine Doors, Nine Escape, Nine People or something like that, it's a game where you have to make the bad choices because it gives you a sense of deja vu where you can then make the better choices later because you have a sense like, I don't know if I should fully trust this person. I think this person might be up something. We might have just had that. We might have just got the worst ending there, but it might have been a thing where it could be something with time or reality. I don't know, or it might just be the game telling me you fricked up. I think it might be something with time because it says deja vu. So that's a very specific line that's telling me that this might be a type of 9 doors. So I might have made the right choice there for later. This is deja vu, the announcement urging a split up, the importance of the decision. But everyone was alive? Did those horrible things actually happen, or did I just imagine it? Hey, come on. It's not that hard of a decision. Echo, we need to get moving. Yeah. I couldn't begin to understand what happened when I went with Missy and Forte. Regardless, I didn't want to experience whatever that was again. Instead, I chose to go with Lyle. Okay, so that might have been a better choice. We might have chosen the right choice there. Lyle and Kanan, what up, squad? Look at this team. We're gonna do great. I'll go with Lyle and Kanan. It was decided. I joined Lyle and Kanan to the 4 doors. Side joined Missy and Forte on the opposite side of the center glass table. And that's that. We'll investigate to our fullest abilities and rendezvous here before 4 p.m. That all right with you, Lyle? Yes, ma'am. It already began walking past the doors before she asked. Kanan silently matched his pace, and I hastened to keep up. We stepped through the doorway into the darkness. All right. Now that's a perfect time to end. Oh, wait, but what was going on? I rubbed my shoulders, searching for the distant pain that haunted only my memories. I glanced back at the other group. Missy gave a small parting wave before turning down the hallway to do her investigation with Forte and Sai. It's like nothing happened. I could only hope nothing awful would happen here. It's just the dim lighting as we were quickly moving upstairs, stumbled down a dark lane. There, I'll end it there. Holy fudge, Sai went full Terminator Punisher on us and just killed everyone. And it didn't even work out. That's really fascinating, and I can't wait to know what happens now. I don't know if Echo's gonna be able to remember some stuff and we can do something differently now. Like, I feel like that might have been the right choice. The fact that Echo remembers dying slightly. He remembers everyone dying. That's really fascinating. Oh, I don't know what's gonna happen from here. Anyway, I'm not even gonna talk too much. I just because we'll get this next video out as soon as possible. But my God, this is gonna be interesting. I love you guys all so much. Thank you all so much for watching. I sincerely hope you enjoyed, and farewell for now.